region or the rest of the world, I thank you for tuning in this evening for another episode of Roots Connections. We continue to explore the ever perennial question: how can we advance Dominica, and what role can each one of us play in advancing Dominica? And as we continue to hear all about the restrictions that the UK is now placing on Dominica and all the implications for the CBI program, I think another question we should be asking this evening is, where do we go from here with regards to securing the financial future of Dominica when the CBI program is no more? So as always on Roots Connections, we continue to turn our passion for Dominica into action for Dominica. We continue to pray for our country and all the challenges and battles we continue to face in so many areas. I don't know if you've heard, but there was yet another murder. Another young man in Grand Bay was killed yesterday. So we have so much to pray for, and we pray that the required resources will be put into place to secure the future of our young people in Dominica. So again, welcome to Roots Connections. This is episode number 51 for today, Wednesday, July 26th, 2023, and I am your host, Simone Mathieu. You already know that this is our number one program for featuring the people, the new and ongoing projects, and the initiatives which are geared towards moving Dominica forward, especially as it relates to securing financial opportunities for our Dominican brothers and sisters at home and abroad. So we have another packed program for you this evening. So again, thank you for joining us. And this evening we are talking about gospel calypso. Yes, you heard it right. Gospel calypso, new opportunities for international collaboration to extend the reach of our music. So we know that you're very excited to hear about this new opportunity as we see the potential for Dominica's calypso to extend internationally and all the implications that come with this. But before we do, let me just say a very special thank you to those who continue to WhatsApp and email me to let us know about important ways that they too are working to advance Dominica. So we had Dr. Davidson Lloyd with the Cocoa Project. We also had Mr. Adrian Banis, who recently reached out to me to join the program. And if you too have a way that you're working to advance Dominica, you're working on a project, you're working on something in the interest of Dominica, like we had the last time, the New Jersey Diaspora event, I want to hear from you too. So you can always feel free to email me at pushpast10@gmail.com. So again, pushpast10@gmail.com, and I will be sure to repeat that information towards the end of the program, because let's face it, it will take all of us working together to finally move Dominica beyond the stagnation we see today. And speaking of people who reached out to me, I want to say a special thank you to Mrs. Huguette Andrew Saint-Hilaire, one of the guests this evening, who reached out to me to share about this very important international collaboration for Dominica's music. And joining her today is someone who needs absolutely no introduction. We have with her Miss Shirley, Lady Esse. You will know her very well. She's an icon in Calypso in Dominica. Miss Shirley, Lady Esse Charles. And they will both tell us the roles that they played in this brand new project. So let us welcome them and thank them for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here. So ladies, please unmute your mic. Greet us in about 5 minutes. Tell us who you are. This has been Roots Connections. Tell us where in Dominica you're from. And before we get to the heart of the discussion, just a little bit about your profession. So again, welcome to the program, Huguette and Lady Esse. It is wonderful to have you on board. Just give us a brief introduction of who you are.
Thank you so much for having us on your program. And we're really happy to be here. I am Shirley Charles. My stage name is Lady Esse. I am known for singing multiple genres of music. And of course, one of the prolific ones in calypso over the years, female over the years. And I am from Mont Prosper. It's a mountain in the Roseau Valley. And I am a teacher by profession. I teach at the Goodwill Secondary School. I teach music and Spanish there.
Yes, thank you. Mrs. Centilla, Huguette, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, I am Huguette Andrew Sentile. A lot of my students know me as Miss Andrew, and the earlier ones from Roseau Mixed School as early as 1971, 73. Um, they know me as Miss Xavier, and I cannot evade them on the streets of Roseau because they really embrace me and call me Miss Xavier.
Oh,
So from the time I hear that, I turn around and I said, I would say, you're past student, right?
mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm originally from the heart of Roseau. I was born right next to the gardens on Bath Road, and I lived in Newtown. So Newtown Passy, yes, and I also lived for a portion of my life in the heart of Roseau, and then moved up to Goodwill, where I really grew up as a young lady, and eventually I moved. I've been about, I moved to Collyho when I was studying, and when I came back, after I got married, we were in the heart of Santa Roma up there, and then I moved to Collyho after studies. So all those areas, they know me very well, and I can say hi to them because it's a village raised a child at that time. So we are connected, and I am a teacher by profession, really and truly. um, I could say also that I'm an educator because I've taught many things, many subjects in my life, and it's the
You,
music has been
you
has
taught me
been
history and physical education at convent.
that's right.
And I
That's
knew her
right.
as Miss Andrew then. Okay.
So my name has been wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I taught physical education. I taught history.
Mhm.
I taught sewing at
Wow.
convent. I taught drama. I taught dance at
Music.
one time, and well, the portion that really caught me was the music. At
Mm-hmm.
the time I joined convent, there was no music, and I figured out, uh-uh, what education is that without music? So I begged Mrs. Levy,
Mm-hmm.
that's before you were there.
Yes.
I begged Mrs. Levy, and she agreed so that I can have classes in the afternoon, and eventually that took off.
Right.
Yes.
Well, it's so nice to connect with you ladies on many levels because we're all from the Roseau area, representing Roseau area. We're all educators, and
Mhm.
I'm
Wow.
an alumna from the convent high school as well.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, so it is great to connect with you on many levels. And we also want to thank our audience who's joining us this evening on the radio. We also want to thank everyone who's joining us on Facebook and YouTube Live on Q95 FM radio. My push button is having issues this evening, so I'll be sure to share to it tomorrow from July 27th. It will be on Push Past 10. So again, we want to thank the audience. Lambi, thank you for being on the console, showing Norris in the background, as well as DJ Shani is around. Don't forget, if you're joining us on Facebook, of course, we're looking forward to your comments. We're also looking forward to your phone calls. And if you're on Facebook, don't forget to share the live. Let everyone know that we are on with a brand new program. I remember, for the best in daily programming, you should head on over to Q95 FM Radio, where we have daily programming as well as past episodes of our programs. So you can check out our last episodes of Roots Connections, the path to success for our cultural industry, embracing new opportunities to secure the financial independence of Dominica by promoting our literary and other arts worldwide. So we're following along the same line this evening, but this time our focus is going to be on our music industry. Of course, we remain grateful to Mr. G and the Q95 radio family for the opportunity to be here every second and fourth Wednesday and to tap into our human resources of Dominican experts worldwide as we work to reverse the brain drain that has plagued Dominica and the Caribbean region. So as we continue with our theme, invest in me, invest in us, we are creating that strategic plan. And I think now more than ever, we're seeing the need to create that strategic plan we always talk about in terms of how are we going to advance Dominica? Because again, we have to look at the environment in which we operate in terms of the implications of what's going on with the UK visa and the CBI program. So again, if you're just joining us, this is Roots Connections, and we are talking about gospel calypso. New opportunities for international collaboration to extend the reach of our music. So let's open up the discussion, ladies. And outside of your profession, just tell us a little bit of some of the passion projects you were involved with before this project came to your doorstep. So tell us a little bit more of what you enjoy doing in terms of music and dance and everything else that drives you.
Well, let me start that segment. Actually, I started as a normal teacher, and I would say normal because you apply and then you send in your CV, and you're taken in for what you have on your CV. But so I started teaching history, and then I suddenly decided that I was part of the Kyrie School of Music, teaching there, and I noticed that it's just a certain set of students getting music education,
Mhm.
and I wanted to bring it into the schools. We had a music, what we call that, a music, a music education officer, and there was, to me, there was no um, essence of music coming out through the
Mhm.
schools. So I decided that I would take on a few classes in the afternoon. And so during assembly, I asked whether students would like to do some music. And I'm talking about theory reading. No, I wasn't raised as a music person or professional of music. I joined the Kyrie School of Music early enough, and I was trained in guitar, flute, and keyboard, piano it was at the time. And I felt I had the skills. I had gone through enough Royal Schools of Music exam. I went to university and at Kville campus, and actually I did curriculum development as my major, but there was also that element of music going on. So I registered as an elective And so my minor was social studies with music along. And there I came back and felt, well, it's going to waste because
Mhm.
I'm not seeing any music in school. So I, I, I put a proposal to Mrs. Levy and
Mhm.
asked her whether she would accept my doing classes in the afternoons for the children. And she said, yes, why not? You know, we could have some music during assembly. And that's how it started. And
Mhm.
trust me, I never thought that 20 years after that, I would be teaching music and
Mhm.
sending students out to sit CXC, getting ones,
Wow.
and having a band. We had a full-fledged band,
Hmm.
and we performed at um, at Parent Teachers Association meetings. We performed at the biennial of the arts for cultural division, and we were just really good. We also had our music week, and I had fun. I had fun.
Mhm.
I had fun.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So thank you so much for everything you've done for music
Yes.
in Dominica. Lady S, so we know you as a phenomenal calypsonian in Dominica. So tell us a little bit about your journey in Calypso.
Okay, well, I started from Convent High School, well, in
Mhm.
the Junior Monarch. But before that, before entering convent, I was at the Rosa Primary School, one of the first set of students to occupy the new building at Bath State. And there were local competitions there. And for the 2 years I was there, I won the competition
Mm.
both times. I went to convent, met Miss Andrews, now Mrs. Sentile, and she helped me to even develop even more. And at convent, I represented convent at the Junior Monarch on 2 occasions. One occasion I did not place, but the second time I came first runner up to the Rising Star, who's a sister of Tasha P. She sang the song, Don't Tell Me That I'm Too Young to Win. If you find I'm not too young to sing, right? So she sang that song, and I came first runner up while she won. My song was actually written, my songs were written by my mother,
Mm.
who's now deceased, but she wrote my songs. And afterwards, I started assisting the Junior Monarchs when I got to the college level. I was no longer participating in the Junior Monarch, but I would help them to write, to perform, as Miss Sentile taught me, and help them with their stage performances and so on, even do background vocals for them. Then I went into the senior ring, so that was from 2006. And I went into the senior ring from 2014 with the song They Say. They say, they say, they say. Some people even ask me today why nights never say. And they say, they meet me on the road and say that, and we joke about it, you know. And afterwards, that song was written by Ian Jackson. Kelly the Ghost said to me, you don't need much to enter the senior ring. Just register, pay your registration fee, and come in and go to the eliminations. And that's what I did. And from then I've been on the stage, on the big stage. I made it to the semifinals for the most, becoming the first reserve for the finals in 2020 with Kalinago Nation.
Mhm.
Also, during the COVID period when we had the virtual competitions, I was the first reserve as well in 2021 with Mark of the Beast.
Mhm.
And most of my calypsos are co-written by me. The concepts I come up with, most of them, and then I get individuals to help me to craft the lyrics in a way that's very poetic
Mhm.
and, of course, melodic for the audience, listening
Yes.
and viewing audience.
Right, right. And thank you so much for your contribution to our culture and calypso. And I know calypso is not the only genre that you
That
sing
I
as
say,
well.
no.
But before we get further into the discussion, I want to go ahead and play the song that we are talking about. and then we can talk about the project. I'll just play it from my phone because I know it's not registered and distributed as yet. So just kind of nod to let me know if you can hear it when I start playing it.
Okay. If you earnestly want to go on the passage unto the way and go to my Father in heaven, Jesus is the passage to the way. God is the destiny, is the way, is the home. I say God is in heaven, He is the way, and He is the Home. I say God is in heaven, He is the way, and He is the Home. Jesus is the passage unto the way. Follow the passage unto the way. Jesus is the passage unto the way. God is life, truth, and the way. God is the destiny. He is the way and the home. God our home, oh yes, He is our home. God is the home and the way. God our home, oh yes, He is our home. God is the home and the way. Remember Jesus said to you and to me, I go to my Father in heaven. I'm the light, truth, and the way. For you cannot come to my Father but through Jesus the way. And sit with the Father, Holy Spirit, and Son on the 60-kilometer table to worship and tell how Jesus saved us and how we made it our home. Jesus is the passage unto the way. Follow the passage unto the way. Jesus is the passage unto the way. God is life, truth, and the way. God is the destiny. He is the way and the home. God our home, oh yes, He is our home. God is the home and the way. God.
So, ladies, that is the first half of the song. I'll play the second half towards the end of the program. But that song is such a blessing, and we could all use a blessing right now. So
That's
it
right.
is so very timely. And Lady S, let me just say how unique and beautiful your voice is.
Thank you.
So congratulations on this very wonderful song that you've created. But let's just open up the discussion and tell us, how did this project come about to sing a gospel calypso? I think in Dominica, who sings something similar? Maybe Jerry Lloyd comes to mind.
Jerry Lloyd,
Yes.
Yes,
yes,
but
yes.
kind of just tell us how this project fell into your lap.
Well, it
Okay.
fell into her lap, and then I got pulled in.
Tell us about it.
Well, actually, I have been around writing songs for a while. I've co-written for Sai with Father Branca John. I
Mm.
have also um, written for juniors in Dominica at the Convent High School, as Shirley said, and also I have written for juniors in Montserrat, and I also have a strong Calypsonian writing for in Montserrat itself, and I guess my family knows that I do that music thing, and in as much as we did that Cape 2022 and we came out top in the Caribbean, that
Mm.
was news and everybody was
Congratulations.
excited.
Hmm.
So this gentleman who actually lives in Canada, but he's from Africa, and his name is Andrew Mochomeni Meniever. So he was launching, not launching. He had written a book, and apparently he told his church the story about how he came about writing that book and his revelations and whatnot. And also he said, people, many people don't read, but it would be nice to have a song to go with the book. And so the congregation happened to have had one cousin-in-law of mine. She's married to my sister's child, to my nephew. So Sharon stood up and she said, "Oh, I know who can write you that song." So he
Wow.
said, "It's a hard song because I have tried many people, and I only brought it out here because I can't find anybody to really make a melody for my words."
Hmm.
So she said, "Oh, Mrs. Centile will do justice to that song." And so I was captured without I even knowing. So she called me and she told me this man will get in touch with me, and she hopes that I am not going to tell him no, because she praised me before she even said I could do it. And so so he called me and told me what he wanted. I told him I was a little bit busy because I had, I think, some exam doing with children for CXC music. And then I told him, just send the words and I will look at it in the meantime. And when he said the words, he had verse, he had chorus, but really it was just telling a story. So there was no rhyme, and the words were falling out of place and whatnot. And I tried several melodies and realized, boy, I need somebody strong to help me with. And then with that project, and then I thought of Shirley and Vanandra, because they were two um, of my students for Cape Advance. So I tried one or two melodies and they didn't fall into place. So I had to rearrange the words because I had some contact with him, and he told me, I asked him, "What do you really want to say in the song? Which are the lines that you really want me to keep?" And so we started communicating like that. And eventually I came out with a melody. But I think I approached two persons before that, Shirley, and I felt to myself Shirley was over her head in work. And well, the school term was just ending, so it was impossible to ask her to do any of that for me. So anyway, I approached her and I told her my story. And she said, "Okay, miss, just
Oh, wow.
give me one more week. Let me correct my papers. And then I will look at the tune. I will look at the words. And then I will tell you what we are going to do. I will try my best to help you."
Yeah, so I think after that you might be getting some calls for regular calypso writing, you know.
Well, I hope so.
It sounds like
I
you're
hope
gonna have to
so.
add more to your resume.
So then she did got back in touch with me,
Mhm.
and we were in conversation, and she said, "Give her a while, let her listen, and let her probably some of the words cannot fall in place with the singer, because remember
They
there
were
are
not
words.
musical. They were
Yes,
not
there
Yeah,
are
yeah,
words.
and
Yes,
That's what
I'm
they
just
there are
are. They were
words.
not musical.
because I'm
There
just
are
sitting
words
here
that have
thinking,
changed
I'm
the
just sitting
laws
here
and
thinking,
whatnot.
that just shows our commitment to our culture because
Yes,
everybody's so overwhelmed, but somehow we always seem to find the time to
Yes.
give back to Dominica. So Lady S, let me come to you. So just tell me, what were your thoughts when she came to you? You listened, and just what you were thinking in the beginning.
So she called me and she said to me, I have this project. And she explained, how she got involved, what she had to go through in terms of changing around the lyrics and everything, that she can bring me the lyrics. And she knows that I am very busy. People who know me, they know I'm like super busy. And they ask me all the time, how do I man over everything? But
Mhm.
I put a time for everything.
Yep.
So I get it done. And she said to me, I was supposed to at least get an audio for the guy already, and I approached some other people to sing it. I started off with some people, but I felt like it wasn't meshing the way that I think it should come out. Because when you have musicians, I don't know if Simone, you know about that. A musician, whether it's a singer, an instrument player, whenever they have created something in their mind,
Mm-hmm. They're married to
unless
it.
they don't hear it out
Mm-hmm.
when they play the instrument or they have somebody sing it for them, if it doesn't sound the way that they imagined it, it's not going to hit home.
Right.
right,
And that's
exactly
how it
right.
was for Mrs. Sentile. So I said to her, well, miss, you could have just told me first, it's okay. I would have just put time aside, to deal with it, seeing that it was, you had to get back to the gentleman a little sooner. And she said, I know how it is for you, and I didn't want to put that on your account, seeing other people who are available, they have less things to do, they can do that. But they did not bring out the kind of sound that she
Mm-hmm.
wanted.
Your voice
So
is perfect for it.
I said to her, admittedly, I was nursing a flu. I said, are you hearing me? I'm nursing a flu, and school is ending, so I have some stuff to, of course, tie up before. I was just before Easter. And I said to her, just give me 1 week. In 1 week, I'll be done with that. I'll look at the words, I'll listen to the melody you send me. I would just go through it. And in 1 week, I was back with her, went to her house, and we went through it. And I said, Miss, no, there's missing a bar there. And the same thing she taught me.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
What she taught
the
me.
student has become
You
the
see
teacher.
the students, yes, applying what she taught. And I said, Miss, this is missing. This is not going to fit there. Let's fix it that way. And we did that until
Yeah. And
it
I
came
told
out
her
how it was.
I knew, but I just needed some help because
Mhm.
from the singer,
But
because I know
let
I
me
cannot sing.
yeah. But let me
I will teach you like the coach on the football field,
Yes.
Mhm.
but I won't take that chance for money.
Yes, and we all have a role to play. You're the coach
And
and
we
she's
all
the
have a
singer.
role to play.
We
And
all
That
have a
Simone,
role
guess
to
what?
play.
Lyndon Lestrade was already in
Oh,
contact with him.
the best in the business.
He's the one who arranged the
Mm-hmm.
song,
yes, yes.
musically
Mm-hmm.
arranged it. So
Mm-hmm.
the track that you hear that I'm singing on, he's considered the arranger. So he
Right.
arranged the song. So we went to studio. In 1 hour, I was done.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes,
chose the other hour to just add in the harmonies and
yes,
strengthen certain lines and to do the
Mm-hmm.
outro of the song. Because at the end of the song, you will hear a call and repeat, which is actually an African
yes.
style of music. Again, I learned that from Miss in the Cape class. You know, an African
Absolutely.
style of music, and I came up with it. I said, "This we should end it with a call and response," and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we did.
Yeah, and it also speaks to, as we talk about this international opportunities to get paid. Because I'm not gonna
Mhm.
ask you, how much you were paid, but I hope you were compensated for this.
Of
Definitely.
course.
Okay, okay, because I just always find that we as Dominicans, so many people amongst ourselves expect us to do things for free. And I'm
Yes.
like,
Yes,
these have to become financial opportunities for us in Dominica. It cannot be, oh, do me a favor now, do this for me. No, no. This favor business not gonna pay your dumb like bill.
No.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have something else to say. I want to congratulate Vanandra Christian. She wrote the scores, I
Mm.
mean, from beginning to end,
Mhm.
and just sat and listened to the melody and entered that note for note.
Mhm.
So Dominicans are not aware that they can get their score
Yeah.
through, simple
Vananja, the Calypsonians
music.
coming for you.
Yes, students, and you
You
can
can't
put
practice
your.
to singing stars without
Yes,
scores.
yes.
So
You can put your song up for sale, and
Mhm.
then you can also send the scores, because
Yes.
the gentleman also wanted scores so that he could bring to his choir in his church.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yes,
and so now that the song is done, what is the next step?
the
okay.
copyright.
The
Right.
copyright.
The
Yes.
copyright is the next step. And
Mhm.
we sought advice from Mikel Henderson. We know that she's
Yes.
the individual in Dominica on the Echo team, and Echo is for Eastern Caribbean.
Mhm.
And we are in Eastern Caribbean. I as an artist, Lady Esse the artist, I am registered with ASCAP. And ASCAP is a copyright company that collects royalties in the States, right? But Echo is for Eastern Caribbean. And she was advising that
Hmm.
I could write to ASCAP, let ASCAP know that I want Echo to collect for the Caribbean for when my song is played in the
So,
Caribbean.
yes.
But in the Caribbean right now, Eastern Caribbean, that is, not Barbados and Trinidad and these other countries, Caribbean countries, but Eastern Caribbean, for the chill, for our young, our youth who are listening, our
Mhm.
children who are listening. If you look on the paper money, our
Hmm.
money, if you look on the $5 bill, the $10 bill, 20 or 50 or $100 bill, you will see a number of islands at the back of the bill. And the
Yes.
islands that are highlighted, colored in, these are the islands that belong to the Eastern Caribbean. And
Yes.
they use that very same currency, that very same money. And for the Eastern Caribbean, Echo is collecting rights or collecting money for songs, well, for artists who are registered to Echo, of course, and they are co-writers and composers. So in this case, Miss is a co-writer and composer of the song, because she
Yeah.
helped to rearrange the words and also she put in the melody of the song. So once the song is registered and it's played in the Eastern Caribbean, royalties that are
Yes.
collected will be sent to her, of course.
Hmm.
Yeah,
For a
because
performer like me in
Mhm.
Eastern Caribbean right now, that is not in place. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't get money for singing that song in the Eastern Caribbean. If I was in Barbados or Trinidad or Jamaica, that would be different. And I know that before Maria, that Echo was putting plans in place so that performers could get their rights as well in the Eastern Caribbean. But when Maria hit, that was put on a hold. And we know that this year gives it about 6 years, Maria hit. I really hope that Echo gets back on that project very soon, because singing the song, performing the song, it is a job that I'm doing. Like you said, Simone, it's a thank you and all of that, because years to come,
Mhm.
I can no longer do it. I should be able to
To
collect money for having worked over the years.
Mhm. Yeah, and that is the approach we have to take. We have to take the approach that these are business opportunities, because
Yes.
even within Dominica itself, we find a lot of people, asking for favors to do this. And I'm just over this whole ask for a favor. These should be seen as business opportunities, but it begs the question: where is the investment in these business opportunities? For
There is
example,
none.
music is part of our cultural
It is.
industry. And when I'm listening to Mrs. Delia Coffee Weeks on a program before this one, and they're talking about this great and wonderful play that is coming up in August, but the Arak House of Culture is not available. And I have to ask myself, well, how long has the Arak House of Culture been under construction?
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
why is it now they have to spend an exorbitant amount of money turning the Goodwill Parish Hall into
into
a
a
theater
theater.
so that they can put on the play and get chairs and get lighting and everything. Where is the investment in culture? Where is the investment in theater? Where is the investment
And the
in
youth.
our cultural industry? And
Mhm.
especially as we're seeing the CBI program going bye-bye. Where is the investment in these income generating streams of income, of revenue that could take our people, like you did, from beyond Dominica to the international waters? So I think that is a question that is on the mind of a lot of Dominicans right now.
I, the question for me is, what are our priorities?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the question for me.
And when you think about it, the Mr. Andrew had never heard about the genre calypso.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't understand what it was. So I told him, I have a melody, but the genre is calypso. So he said, "Oh, okay. Um, just send it. Just send it. Anything you do, my sister, I believe will be good." So I said, why not a gospel calypso? I listened to the children with the Calypso Association, and they were begging for an outlet for Calypso apart from the competition
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
section,
Yes.
because everybody composes Calypso
For the
for
competition.
the competition.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's a long winded kind of thing that they cannot enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And where is it in church? Every other genre is in church, So why not calypso?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from Father Alexander, who did one or two um, uh, amen and stuff in church, through calypso, with calypso as a genre, which is not very long. We don't have any songs, gospel, really and truly, that we can sing. We can tell our children, just go out there and sing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in church, they're in the playground, they are all over, they're listening to jingles. Why not a calypso jingle?
Absolutely. And I like the direction our conversation is going right now, because I want us to continue to focus on how do we get more of these international opportunities. So let us talk about what it will take to get us more of these opportunities. But even before we do, I like that you mentioned the youth, because we saw this summer that Shelley and Trilogy
Yes.
created a program specifically for the youth. We also had, I think it was, I don't want to mispronounce his name, but something Gabby, Mighty Gabby, who's a
That's it.
lecturer out of Barbados, UWI,
Yes.
and he came to Dominica. So tell us everything that is going on in terms of, the genre.
Well, in terms of Shelley, we know Shelley and
Yes.
Trilogy are both Calypsonians, although they are Bouyon artists. So they're really immersed in our culture in Bouyon and in Calypso. And they had a pen to paper summer workshop to help the youth to write lyrics, proper lyrics. And it's very interesting. It's coming from these two young men, because these two young men pen their own songs. We know Shelley is in Signal Band,
Mhm.
and a lot of the songs we enjoy from Signal Band were penned by Shelley. I mean, Calypso, he was known as Professor. That was his stage name.
Mhm.
He actually won the Junior Monarch several times.
Several
I was his
times,
backup
yes.
singer
I
from
I was
SMA,
judge. I
Mhm.
was judge
and
at
Miss
the
as a
time.
judge, and Miss has been a Calypso judge for a number of years. Number of years, probably 20 odd years.
Yes.
And we see Trilogy breaking records this year, entering for the very first time and winning the crown
Yep.
on the first go. That has never happened in the history of Dominica.
Mhm.
So he has created history, and people, I have created history too. I'm the first female vice president of the Dominica Cultural
Congratulations.
Association in the history of Dominica.
Congratulations. Well deserved. Well
Thank you.
deserved.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so I think
I have 8 other powerful kings on the executive with me, and they really, really support me. I am there to balance all of them off. But honestly, as an executive, we really work very hard. We work very well for our president, observer, Davidson Victor. We have our, I'm the vice. We have Narin, trendsetter. We have Sai, who is a special advisor to the executive, Hixie, the PRO. We have Checo, who is the assistant secretary treasurer. We have Daryl Bob, who is the secretary. Bassi, Arthur Pascal, and Derrickson Rose. They are our exec members. And honestly, they have been doing a really, really, really good job. We have been working really hard as a team. We recently had our Calypso Day week of activities where we started at Grand Bay, celebrating the Father Branca, Bricks. John, we know, is a Calypso King, and he's a priest, and he was celebrating.
Bricks on them.
Put the brakes on them. 10th year in the priesthood.
Wow.
And we celebrated with them at Grand Bay. And then for the week, we hosted Mighty Gabi in collaboration with UE, thanks to Dr. Kimon Joseph and Dr. Barry Kazemi. They really were instrumental in hosting that talk at UE. It was really nice for me to meet Gabi. We had lunch with him at Katai Restaurant, and a real down-to-earth man, and there is so much to learn from him. He's a lecturer at UE as well. So much to learn from him, and he spoke about Calypso, our roots with Calypso from the plantations, and how Calypso should be written, and for enjoyment as well, not only political themes and so on. That climax of the youth discussion on the Thursday that Miss just mentioned, we had a youth discussion, and Observer said to me afterwards, these young people have a lot to offer, and we should probably, implement a youth arm of Calypso. And we are going to go ahead with that. We had Fire Lander, who is a Calypsonian, but a youth, and he's on the youth council as well. I'm not sure what his position is, if he's the president or so. We had Amika as well, who's part of Leo Club. She's not part of Lions Club, but was part of Leo Club, vice president of Leo Club. She's part of Lions Club. We had representatives from academics, the Dominica State College, and it was very, very interesting to have them and to hear what they had to say about Calypso, just having Calypso for enjoyment, not just the political themes and so on. I think we focus so much on the competition that we forget that Sparrow himself wrote songs just for enjoyment.
And that is where we're going with the conversation. How do we create the international appeal to generate the revenue? But before we even go there, let us talk about generating revenue on the ground. Because we have to look at ourselves. Yes, we're talking about investing in the youth. Yes, we're talking about, creating a section for the young people. But how are we generating revenue? Because unfortunately, I think I heard Narin on the radio, and I was shocked to find out that after 40 years of the Calypso Association, we're still hearing, we cannot cover the funding for this, we cannot cover the funding for that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what are we doing to generate revenue? For example, look at Colin XP, guys. Look at Colin XP. Colin XP is a merchandise queen. Why aren't we following her lead? Right? Generating t-shirts, whatever is the popular song, a sour song that is very popular. Whoever has the popular song, the Road Match King, a t-shirt, a mug, something should be generated online so that me sitting out here in Atlanta, I can go and order that item and make a significant donation to the Calypso Association in Dominica. So why haven't we followed that lead? Because I think for most of us as Dominicans, as the only thing we see is that Calypso is really exciting for Carnival and then Calypso Week. But what else could we be doing to generate revenue year round?
I see one area. I see an area.
It's funny that you said that. Miss will say her area in a while. But for me being part of the mass camp, Calypso tent, I remember us having this series of virtual shows. I'm not sure if you were following, Simone.
I was.
But I took the opportunity to just get into theatrics.
Yes.
Because when I came there to sing, my face was painted. I was in costume just to sing songs and create that kind of drama, entertainment for the audience. And that generated revenue for Mass Campus.
Yes.
I was hoping that we would have continued even more, because that is why the bouillon is so prevalent, because there are so many bouillon events, but not enough calypso events.
Mhm.
And having, like you said, Carly, next week, just doing a little expeditious music therapy. You know what I mean? Online, a simple thing like that. Just like what Mass Campus doing, a simple thing like that could generate so much the interest, and then to get people to buy what you say, mugs and shirts and that kind of
And
thing.
leggings and hats.
Yes, we need to get up to the time. Get a Lady S shirt,
Yes.
a Lady S mug. You love
Yes.
Lady S? Get one,
Yes.
drink your coffee,
Yes.
drink your tea.
Like
Yes, and you know,
WW.
so and so always has the most outrageous costumes. A picture of so and so on a t-shirt will sell.
It's
You know,
true.
so I'm just wondering why in 40 years are we still depending on the same income streams that we've always depended on, and we're not innovating.
I think not enough of us, not enough of the people whose mindsets are in that direction are into the Calypso Association. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I am on the Calypso Association, so I can be frank with you. There
Mm-hmm.
are a few of us in that direction, and we are really working. But I tell you, we need more.
Yeah,
We need more.
and you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because
No,
Colin
you
XP,
don't.
I reached out to Cornell when we were thinking of doing something similar for a different project we were doing, and he was more than willing to offer advice for free in terms of setting up an online shop, in terms of getting the merchandise. You don't have to buy the merchandise. The merchandise is available through the online store.
Right.
So
Yes.
all you have to do is set it up and get it going. And you know, as a member of the executive, Lady S, I truly hope that you will take this back to the Calypso Association.
Definitely. I am sure that they are
And it's
listening
enough,
as well.
time to implement it for the next Calypso season.
Yes. And we
This
have
is
a
the perfect
we have
time.
a meeting as soon as tomorrow night. So
Yes.
of course I will be speaking about it. Our AGM is on Saturday at 10. Well, fortunately, this executive is not being voted out this year. It's next year that the voting will be on, so we can continue working as a team for another year.
Yeah, and Huguette, I think you wanted to add something as well.
Yes, I wanted to say that there is room for everyone in the music business,
Mm-hmm.
because I see students bring out their craft in the scores, and we have so much music without scores, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so your scores could be selling
Mm-hmm.
online for a person to see what it is, what you are selling in the music. Your scores could be online, so you just look for a student that is crafty enough and can write the scores for your music. One of the problems we will have in CXC music, they have to analyze a music of the Caribbean, and most teachers tended to go outside of Dominica because, as far as they were concerned, there were not enough of our music online.
Hmm.
You know what the children did? They identified the musician, identified the music. So Jarrett, what's his name? Jarrett Jajac,
Oh,
he loved Chubby's music,
Mm-hmm.
and he chose one of his music, one of his songs, and he literally wrote the scores for the song in order to put it as his SBA, in order to use it as his SBA. So those songs could be available online with the scores, because anything you want, any international song you want, it's online. The scores are online, so you can pick it up, and you can play it in your musical arena. You know, you like the song, you play the song. So we'll be selling our scores too, and we'll be selling the music. We'll
Yes.
be selling these
Yes.
CDs Will be on
Yes.
Spotify
Yes.
and whatever.
iTunes.
And the thing about it is we criticize young people so much for being on their
I
phone and their tablets, but they have the expertise that
They
we
do.
need
Yes,
to
they
get
do.
the music online. So why are we criticizing them so much? We should be
Yes,
leaning on their expertise in terms of online merchandise, in terms of
I
online
am
music.
leaning because they were the ones who helped me during COVID.
Yes,
We decided we were not stopping with Cape, and I told them, especially Shirley, when I speak, you have to take over because I don't know much about that laptop here and all that, Zoom and all that
yes, but you're learning.
platform.
You're
Yeah.
learning.
So
You're
I used
learning.
to make her come on, open for me,
Mhm.
and take the lead, and then
Yes.
I would join in.
Yes.
You know,
And
so
again,
they
and
are
again,
there.
we each play our role.
We do.
That
Yes,
is the
yes.
point. The point is we each play our role. So don't criticize the young people for being on their devices all this time, but encourage them to teach us how do we use social media to push calypso
Yes.
music. And Lady S, and we're gonna come to the phones to take the calls in a little while. But Lady S, I think it was such a missed opportunity when Mascamp discontinued that Facebook program. There was a time they were getting 10,000 viewers on a Friday night.
It
And Lady
actually
S,
went up more than that. It actually went up more than that.
for weeks after that, I had to go Puel. Because every Friday I looking for Calypso.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I enjoyed it so much because I would just get calypsos even over the Caribbean that
Mhm.
were just entertaining in nature and just come and sing and perform just for entertainment's
Performance.
sake and drama
Yes,
because I love drama, you know?
yes.
I really
and,
Yes.
loved
and
it.
take this message back to them as well. Yes, I am all for honoring Lent after the Calypso season, but you already had the audience. So what you
Yes,
could
Yes.
have potentially do is feature other genres of Dominica music if
yes.
we don't want to play Calypso during Lent, but keep the sponsorship.
But the
Because
And
gospel
I saw the
calypso
banner,
can
and
be
that banner
played.
had so many sponsors, and
and you
we
know
just let it go.
and you know initially that is what they did because we started with Mascam Kalalu, which was the last Friday Creole Day. And we did Kadas. We did
Yes.
Kadas with Calypso. We went along and there was jazz at some point. I came and did jazz,
Mm-hmm.
some blues. And then
Yes.
for Christmas, we had a Christmas theme with Calypso again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was
So
really
why
good.
not? Calypso
It
can be
was really,
year
really
round.
good. And
Year round.
unfortunately, I have expressed my views to members of the executive of Mascamp. I'm not on
Mm-hmm.
Mascamp's executive
Mm-hmm.
at this point. But I
Mm-hmm.
did express my views to them, and
And
I really hope they
it
take
could
me on
become
again.
a Calypso Association thing, because once Mascam had dropped the ball, what should have happened is the Calypso Association should have picked up the ball and run with it.
That's
And
right.
Simone, to tell you the truth, the Calypso Association came up with the idea first. I
Mm-hmm.
telling you from being on the executive. I have been on the executive since 2019,
Mm-hmm.
well, end of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was actually suggested by the treasurer, Narin.
Mm-hmm.
Narin suggested it first.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mascam came up with the idea later. I was on Mascam executive at the time, but never told them what the Calypso Association was planning. They come up with the idea and they ran with it. So I agree
Mm-hmm.
with you that the Calypso Association should continue now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so guys, even if this one conversation, look at the amount of ideas we've already generated in terms of the scores, in terms of merchandise, in terms of online streaming with sponsors that we could be doing year round to
Yes.
generate an income, to generate revenue for Calypso, so that we can take the music even further. In my mind, at this point, some of our top Calypsonians should be professional Calypsonians.
I
They shouldn't
agree.
have a regular job. Why does Dice need a bakery? Why does Dice need a
Exactly.
bakery? He won the crown, what, nine
Sorry.
times? And he
Nine
still has
times.
to have a regular job. That to me is
We should be going
completely
around the Caribbean.
unacceptable. Yes, but we also,
Simone, I love teaching, okay?
okay, it took me a minute.
Simone, I love my students, okay?
Okay. Me
So,
too.
Simone, they love their calypso and in the classroom, okay?
Okay, I understand. But then you should have two full-time jobs. One being
True,
calypso,
true.
one being
I,
calypso.
I I have brought Dice into the classroom. He can
Yes,
tell you,
yes.
so that the children can meet one on one with the Calypsonian and
Mm-hmm.
explain his song. Another idea I think we could do. I
Mm-hmm.
am a member of YT Kubuli Writers.
Yes.
YT Kubuli Writers. Yes,
Yes.
and we are planning to do a second edition to our first anthology. And I was hoping, or I am hoping, that songs get into that book, because one of my features, or what I did for my um, thesis,
Mm-hmm.
was use songs to show that you can teach social studies, and I used only calypso
Wow.
to show that you can teach social studies with the music for the children, because I showed that over the years the calypsos were touching on various aspects of life.
Mm-hmm.
So why not? It
Mm-hmm.
was a combination of social studies, um, um, social things happening around Dominica. So then I have this big book, and by the way, I got an honors degree.
Oh, niceness.
Honors
Very
Congratulations.
nice.
degree.
Congratulations.
Yes, that was that cinched it,
Mm-hmm.
because I felt that we are not using our calypsos enough.
Right.
We are
It's a
not,
teaching tool.
and
It's a teaching tool.
there are messages in
Mm-hmm.
that calypso. So I'm hoping to urge Kubuli writers
Mm-hmm.
to bring in songs and features that they can use pictures around the songs and highlight the singer. And if you want the song, they can tell you where to go and get the song,
Mm-hmm.
and to sell a book of poems,
Yeah, and
because
not just social studies,
writing is
but
about
history as
poetry.
well. Because if you listen to all the calypsos from over the years, you will see how they've documented the history of what was going on in Dominica at the
Exactly,
time.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
also
exactly.
in history, lady, yes, you wanted to say?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm just gonna add to the point that you just made. Imagine when I decided to edit Caligago Nation because it was first written by Steve Bellot,
Mm-hmm.
who had told me about it years before, and I felt Dominica wasn't ready for any Kalinago song. But when I felt they were ready, I came back to him and I said, I think it's time for the Kalinago song. And he gave me the words. He didn't really have a melody, but I went to my manager at the time, who was Lindsay George, and we edited the lyrics. But before we did that and add the verse and so on, I researched what happened in the Kalinago territory. And I remember when I was singing that song, that some of the commentators, and that's what happens during Calypso too, some of the commentators stay on the radio and say that what you are singing is a lie. It's not the truth. I remember singing Kalinago Nation, talking about the plight of the people, the
Mhm.
current plight of the people. I'm talking about what's happening presently with the people. I started
And that's
with where the
historical.
people come from.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they have contributed to our nation, yes. But
Mm-hmm.
what is their status today? And when I sang two verses
Mhm.
on that, a commentator said on the radio, the first verse was fine, but the rest of it is just a lie. It's a total lie. There's no way that the Kalinago people are in this situation, and they are. I got it from the Kalinago people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And for me, I
There's a
just feel
lot of
like
research.
when we write songs, we have to research, like Miss said. You can't come and just write anything for the public. For me, I'm an educator, and I believe in educating the public. It's really damning to see that people who are supposed to know better, because it's not in line probably with their political persuasion,
Yep.
they
Yep.
will try to downplay the real meaning of the song,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And
Mm-hmm.
Miss was saying earlier, what I wanted to add to what Miss said, when she said that they're not taking enough examples from from our calypsos, I feel generally that we are not using our kadas enough, our bouillon examples enough, our calypso enough, our local stars enough. We're not really using it. And that is why I applaud Daryl Bob when Daryl Bob got this young lady to come to speak at the discussion that Mighty Gabby was about to hold. She actually was she opened for him, really, you know? And I felt that that was a right move because this young lady had done an SBA on Calypso, which I applaud Convent for, because Convent has been doing a lot of that. Having the children go to speak to Calypsonians and do their SBA on Calypso and the Calypsonian. And so I have helped students from SMA and Convent on that topic, you know, and it generates the interest of the children.
It's a great way to generate interest in the children.
Interest of the youth. Also, I went to Katai restaurant last Thursday for the karaoke night. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was mainly observing. I was part of the IT for Dominica training for teachers for summer with the Canadians. And one of my teacher ended up being a gentleman who actually plays guitar, sings, and performs in Canada. So he said to me, well, where are they having karaoke? Okay, so he found out. He went to Katai the very first week. The second week, he said, I'm going to Katai again. Anybody coming tonight? And I said, sir, I'll come. He wanted me to call him Darren, but it's Silk. Sir, I'll come. Anyway, I came. He was having a very good time. And later on, it was really pleasant to hear Calypso come on in karaoke. And that is something that we Dominicans need to do.
Yep.
Our Dominica Calypso is not in karaoke, but there were some others over the Caribbean in karaoke. That is a good way of getting people to sing a calypso they love in karaoke. I found that very intriguing. I absolutely loved it. Enjoyed it.
But thank you so much, ladies. This is a very engaging conversation, and we have so much more to cover, including, how do we set up ourselves to embrace more international opportunities, right? And what where the lack of a national policy to guide this cultural industry that we are talking about this evening. But take a minute, grab some water, maybe take a sip of water, take a breath as we go over to Lambi, so he can tell us invite the audience to call. But before we do, let me just remind everyone that you're listening to Roots Connections on Q95, the big station. We are live on Facebook and YouTube on Q95 FM radio. And this evening, we are talking about gospel calypso, new opportunities for international collaboration to extend the reach of our music. And we are joined by Lady Esse as well as Mrs. Huguette Saint-Hilaire. So let me come over to you for the phone calls.
Our numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257, 305-432-9624. Again, those numbers one more time, 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. These are all local numbers. The overseas number is 305-432-9624. We already have a caller. Let me take that call.
Thank you.
Here we go. Good evening, caller. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Good night.
Good night.
Yes, lady. I want to tell Lady yes, we Kalinago people is listening, and we are 100% behind her. We want all you to play this song for us tonight. And those people that are telling you that you are lying, tell them they don't know what they're saying, because what you're saying is the truth and nothing but the truth. So I believe we would like to hear the calypso tonight, and your ladies are doing something fantastic, and I compliment all you. And please do not back down. Continue talking the truth, continue saying good calypso, continue putting good facts into calypso. And that is what happens. They tell you the truth will always offend. So keep on offending people. And let them, so that one of those days they'll shut them off. Good night, ladies.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, caller Lambi. I don't know if you have access to the music, but
Kalinago Nation.
if you
Lady
could
S.
play Kalinago the Nation, we would certainly appreciate it. Of course, if you have access to it. And it just seems, picking back on what the caller says, that there are two different realities in Dominica. There's the reality of the average person, and there's the reality of the non-average person. So, I think that is what we're seeing here in terms of what this experience has brought on. And Lady S, is that song on YouTube? I might look it up.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
So if it's
It
on
is.
YouTube,
And
I
you,
would say
you may actually see some live performances as well.
okay. I
Now,
will
it's
certainly
funny,
look it
at
up.
that time, that S was an S.
Just an S.
So you look for lady and
So
an
just
S. Yes.
Lady S,
Yes.
Kalinago Nation. Yeah, because I think what we're seeing is two different realities in Dominica, and that is very unfortunate, because I think the majority of Dominica is getting the short end of the stick, if you ask me. So yes, so we want to thank the caller for his contribution.
I also want to add that I really love the Kalinago people, and
Mhm,
it was a pleasure for me to work with them in the O Maria workshop,
mhm.
put on by Daryl Tulo, the summer after Maria, 2018,
Mm-hmm.
summer 2018, and Mrs. Sentinel was part of that workshop as well.
Yes,
We created several songs in several genres, including calypso,
Mm-hmm.
talking about our experience. And it was really therapeutic for the Kalinago people. It was really nice to meet them, Miranda. There were a number of others, but I've been in contact with Miranda a lot. I love Miranda. And I want to thank the Kalinago people for their assistance when I had to put on, my display for Calypso that year, the outfits, the props on the stage, that all came from the Kalinago people.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Lambi. Do we have a call, Lambi? Oh, you're
Kalinago
muted.
Nation song.
Yes, please.
Lady S, 2020. To all the Kalinago in this land, my respect goes out to you. Even though I'm African woman, I know our true legacy is you. We were brought to work the fields, but our eyes look to the hills. Our salvation came from the mountains. Make my war follow at your heels. The tall red lies of your people, how sauvage my Emmet survive. Now we're both citizens in this temple that makes our homage worthwhile. Rise, O Kalinago nation, you set the foundation of our history. Rise, my black brothers and sisters, pay homage to ancestors in this century. Never mind your present situation, you will always be Dominica's number one. Boy, boy. Where am I, boy? We got to show more love to our natives. They shouldn't be left to scrunt for too long. They've been left behind. It is time that they move up front. We've got to give more land to their farmers and expand their territory so they can grow more of what they eat to sustain their economy. As first owners of this country, why divide them politically? They really don't need an MP. Respect the chief in the territory. celebration of our history. Rise, my black brothers and sisters, pay homage to ancestors in this century. Never mind your great tribulation, you will always be dearest number one.
Yes, so thank you, Lambi. Yes, absolutely. So I think the call is absolutely right, and of course, caller, your request is our command on Q95. So we had to play you that song. And Lady S, let me just say, as a descendant of the Kalinago people myself, I think it was a true honor that you presented that song, because I don't think
Yes.
I've ever heard another song in tribute of the Kalinago people as a calypso song in Dominica. Am I incorrect?
I remember that Abia tried one. I think that very year she had one speaking about the Kalinagos, but it didn't really take so much of a calypso format, so it didn't go very far. But I know she had a song about Kalinago. But she and I started off in the eliminations together, you know. So
Yes.
none of us knew what each was going to sing, but that year, of course, we looked, you know, to really pay tribute to the Kalinagos. And it's really interesting that you mention being of Kalinago descent, because the third verse that Lambi did not get to there actually speaks about that, because there is a line that says that many of us deflected to be Negroes. We prefer to be called Negroes instead of Kalinagos. And a lot of us are mixed. You understand? A lot of us are mixed.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're from Dominica, you have Kalinago blood.
When I went to convent, they called me Black Carib. They didn't say Kalinago at the time, but Black Carib. And I tell them, well, you all get Carib from. Can't you see I look black? No, it's my hair. My hair looked a little, you know, if you can see it there, you know.
Like we say, Shibe Wayayay.
Yes. So I had that. It's a wavy hair, like the Kalinagos, and I was told.
And it's just so sad what we use to divide each other. It is just
Exactly.
so sad what we use to divide each other, because Kalinago, black or mixed, we're Dominicans.
Yes.
Right? UWP,
it's
Freedom,
the same
Labor, we're
Kalinagos.
Dominicans.
It's the same Kalinagos who aided the blacks in fighting off the common enemy.
Yes, the
You
next
know what I mean? The masters, the masters at the time.
Yeah,
who
so we need to
enslaved them.
recognize ourselves as Dominicans and stop
Of course.
finding ways to divide each other.
And Simone, I think that, and I'm glad I have this opportunity to talk about the song, because I think that even the judges missed the whole point of that song. I was the first reserve to the finals that year with that song, and honestly, I felt they missed the point, because the name of the song is Kalinago Nation. Kalinago Nation is Dominica, Whitey Kobuli.
Absolutely.
And it consists of Kalinagos, blacks, mixed, all of us. We are all the Kalinago Nation. Yes, we have a group set apart in the Kalinago territory, but we ourselves, we shouldn't think that we are different from them, that we should be divided, you know. And I agree when you made that point a while ago.
Yes, absolutely.
Honestly, we forget, and we need to treat them how we want to be treated, and that's
and I don't even think we should be referring to them as them.
As them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We're not separate. We're all one Dominica. But let's thank everyone who's joining us on Facebook. Catherine Nicole's Low says, great music teacher. She's referring to you, Miss Huguette. She also said, Lady S singer, love your calypso. Earl Honeybee says, lit, but I am here. Annette Phillip is here. Veronica Pinto, Lady S, love Lady S. So guys, thank you for being here. Don't forget to share the Facebook Live. You guys want to make any further comments before we get into how do we continue those international opportunities? So we're talking about generating income for our genre of music in calypso, because I think what we're seeing is that Wadix, for example, is doing a phenomenal job with pushing calypso. Wadix and Ophelia and Gordon Henderson, they're all on the forefront of pushing calypso year-round. As a matter of fact, Ophelia is in La Reunion for a concert right now. Right.
Ah,
So
Yeah,
on a
we call that.
year-round basis, Wadix, bless his heart, continues to push the calypso, the calypso music, but it almost feels like calypso is just reserved for carnival, and then it just dies a slow death until December when
yeah.
we hear that we all waiting with bated breath
Eliminations.
for eliminations, and I think we should that should not be the case.
I almost got a heart attack once during a CXC examination when
One second, Miss Huguette. Let's take a call. Sorry about that.
okay, yes, I can hold.
Okay, they'll call back. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I almost got a heart attack during a CXC examination when part of the exam was that you had to listen to a genre, a piece, a segment of music, and identify certain elements of that song. And there, for the first time over 15 years, we had been doing CXC at that time. And here comes Ophelia's voice. I sort of, you know,
You were shocked,
I was shocked because, uh-oh,
Ophelia.
Ophelia, where did they get that voice?
Ophelia.
Oh,
From
we have the
And
call. We have the call coming in.
yes,
1 minute, please.
Good evening, caller. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Yeah, on the record of race within Kalinago and Negro, I think it goes like that. Kalinago and Negroes. Kalinagos and Negroes.
and Negroes.
Because a lot of times I hear people, even in the Kalinago, when they have a darker Kalinago person, they call them neg. But
Wow.
Kalinagos and Negro, we come from, we are Israelites. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at genealogy of Israelite people, we are Israelites. Negroes are not Africans. People say all of us are Africans. When we crossed the Red Sea, came from Egypt as slaves, the Father gave us the land of the Canaanites. The Canaanites are where Israel is there today. So all his slaves were Negroes. Kalinagos are also Negroes.
We were saying they are all
Yes, yes. Thank you for that contribution, caller. Yes, we are all one, and at the end of the day, we're all human. So, what race do I belong to? I belong to the human
The
race.
human race.
race.
Right? So let's get beyond what race we belong to, and let's just work together to see how we can all work together to advance Dominica. But please, Miss Huguette, go ahead with your point.
Yes. So I was shocked. And Shatwa the new.
Beautiful.
Shatwa the new. So I'm
You can sing,
saying,
ma'am.
Yeah.
wait. They finally got one. A
Finally.
song on the CXC exam, and
Yeah.
the children, their faces lit up.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Oh,
no,
yes.
Ophelia is international. So for some reason, I think somebody came down from CXC and they wanted a set of popular music that was going around. No, they do not know the genre. They have never heard, Dominicans sing really and truly internationally, except Ophelia. But he caught on to the voice, and he said, "Oh, now in the entry form, they had to identify what style, and the children couldn't see what it was,
Kadas.
Kadas, but there was no Kadas there, so all they had to do was put popular music,
Okay.
pop,
Pop.
recognize it
As
as pop.
And then
Wow.
pop
So
stands
then-
for popular music.
Yes, pop
You know,
style
every
is a
time I hear
popular-
pop, I'm thinking of
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
British Spears,
But pop is
popular music. Yes.
I'm learning
music.
something tonight.
Yes.
Popular music. But ladies,
Oh my God! I hope they realize that they should enter pop music, because we had gone through the genres and whatnot, and gospel and what, the whole setting. And I said, but that's the only one they can refer to as popular music.
Yeah.
And the children came out and they were so glowing that at last a
Yes,
Dominican
it's
made
it's a proud moment for Dominica. But
Yes.
you know,
proud moment.
it
I'll
it
never
begs the
forget.
question, how do we get more of these international opportunities? Because we talk about the local level in terms of generating more revenue so we can do even more with our calypso, but how do we get that international appeal? And you know, I know this is going to be a less than favorable comment that I'm going to make, but it is true. I listened to you guys on Levi's program, Super L's program the other day, and he's correct. How do you make the music more of an international appeal? Let's look at, for example, Sparrow.
Mhm.
One of the reasons Sparrow was such an international performer and he was able to reach such a wide audience is because his songs had international appeal. Gene and Dinah, right? Gene and Dinah could be from anywhere, right? Saltfish, that could apply anywhere. There's a man in my room, that could
Mhm.
Yes.
apply anywhere. So the idea is, yes, we love our political calypsos, and I am not taking away from that. But how far internationally can we take calypso if the lyrics are so focused on Dominica? So yes, there's a space for that, but should more effort go into generating songs that have more international appeal? Again, I was just listening to Mrs. Dixon, Mrs. Wicks on her program, and one of the songs she was playing is "No Nobody Wins a War." International appeal.
Yes. Yes.
That song was written probably in the 70s and the 80s, and even today, it still applies. So what are your thoughts about how can we attract more of these international opportunities the same way you and the two of you ladies were able to secure that collaboration to work with somebody internationally? What will it take to generate even more of these opportunities?
Well, I really think the lyrics is one of the main areas that we need to look at. Um, we know that Sparrow wrote for enjoyment as well. He wrote on the Queen. He traveled the Caribbean and wrote a song for each Caribbean island.
Yep.
In
Yes.
that way, when he goes to perform, everybody from the Caribbean can identify with a song. And sometimes it just takes one hit,
Mhm.
one hit. So I wrote a song on the Kalinagos. The Kalinagos pay attention to me now and follow me no matter whatever other song I am singing. They know that's the lady who sang for them. You know, that kind of thing. So I think it's really the lyrics and our artists. I'm going to come to that, and I really think that the Signal Band is doing a great job with that.
Absolutely. Big
But
fan.
our artists, I teach music in first and second form at the Goodwill Secondary School. I teach music appreciation as well when it comes to approaching independence. I teach them Jinping and so on. We look at folk music. And the children will tell me they don't want to hear that. And the reason they don't want to hear it is they don't hear it all the time. That is one. Anything that's not consistent in the audience ears is not something that they really accept. They accept the booyah because they hear the booyah all the time on the vehicles, at their homes, on the radio, on social media, through the apps. A TikTok will be made. So it's reaching. It's really far reaching. And they would tell me some of their favorite artists. Before I get to the Jinping, I have to butter their mouth. And they tell you have to butter a cat mouth. Well, I have to butter their mouth and ask them, give them a class to say, today you're getting to tell us who your favorite artist is and give us a song that the artist is singing and so on. And I use the Wi-Fi, I use my data, and on our big screen, we are presenting the videos on the songs that they like, and everybody gets to choose a song. We don't listen to the whole song, but we start looking at the video. Then I make a list of them and I say, what do you like so much about these artists? Miss, they're pretty. They have a nice voice. Miss, you have seen the video? You know, these kind of things. Miss, we can get the lyric video. We can sing the song, karaoke style. This kind of thing. So we need to get to that level. We really need to get to that level and use the social media, use the platforms we have, because it's a global community. And people are watching. And you mentioned Levi Low Black. Levi Low Black reached out to me a few years ago. And what made Levi reach out to me is what he saw from where he was, from Canada. He saw me perform on the shows in Dominica. Also Glenn, who used to play for Swinging Stars, said to me one time he was by Julie Mate. I would do gigs with Julie Mate sometimes, jazz, at Fort Young, especially when Joyce Stout was not available. So we would interchange and so. And he said to me, "You remind me so much of Levi. I need to speak to Levi where you're concerned." And he did that. He did that, and Levi reached out to me. But before he could reach out to me, he actually looked to see what I was doing in Dominica. I felt that I was really a cultural icon and that I should be given more attention and more support to do more of what I am doing. And we mentioned Ophelia earlier. Ophelia is actually my third cousin. She's my grandmother's first cousin. They are two brothers' children.
Interesting.
She was my mother's godmother. And at my mother's funeral, we both sang together the Magnificat. So that is something I want to put online as well, that people see that I have performed with Ophelia. Ophelia herself has graced the Mass Camp virtual stage. And I have gone on to sing with her as well there, as well with Michael Henderson. You know, and those kind of things get people to watch and want to have a collaboration with the artist. Right. So we as artists need to get more serious. More serious in the way that we present our product. I know that the Dominica Calypso Association has been really on that topic, that very same strain recently, about presenting a better product so that it has an international appeal. So we can get more international attention that can bring us to higher heights. Even more sponsorship, as you mentioned earlier, Simone, that we generate more in different ways, you know? So I really think there's more we can do. When Dice did that video, he did a video for Calypso at some point, and that generated the interest of a number of people all around the world. I think these things are important.
Yeah, Huguette, you have something to say?
Yes. Also, while I was teaching music at the convent high school, every year we had a Calypso show in the third form. The first formers used to present like the old mass and do a dance around with their lapo cabuit. And as Shirley said, when you introduce those things about our culture, they don't want to hear that, because they're not privy to that at home or in the air or at school itself. So we introduce music with our culture. And so the first forms had a dance to do. The second forms the first formers were membranophone, and the second formers were some other group of instruments, and the third formers had to put on a Calypso show. And they won prizes. They were given topics that they had to write on, not political topics, but topics like love, recess, when the bell rings.
Recess. When the bell rings.
Yes, when the bell rings, what happens?
What happens when the bell rings? You run to drink water, you try to finish it fast. You know that kind of
pee.
You're choking, you need some water.
So they learned that Calypso was not just about
politics.
Yes, politics. It was just a genre, and we had that in CXC, where they recognized that it was just a genre, and whatever you did with it, you know, was playable or singable it all depends on how you treated the topic. And we had some good time. I'm sure a few students are listening to me now. And boy, my heart was in heaven when I was doing that. Because I enjoyed my school life. I say my second school life at the convent high school. My
Right.
first school life was at St. Martin's School, where I did every song and every drama. I was in every choir. I love the arts. I just love the arts.
And,
And
and I can tell you have a passion for it. And what a lot of people don't realize is if you keep working with young people, you stay young.
yeah,
And she young.
I hope
I remember her. That's the way I remember her from first form.
somebody told
From
me today,
first form,
you're
and
not growing old.
that was like
Nope,
23
you're not
years
going old.
ago.
Mhm.
23, 24 years ago, and she looks the same.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes,
Lord.
absolutely. But let's say thank you for everyone on the Facebook Live. Veronica Pascal, yes, we read your comment before. Rodney Charles, Lady S, your driver said beautiful voice and a Hummer. And the Walcott clones listening from the USA. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to share the live. But another way we are seeing opportunities for international collaboration and taking our music beyond Dominica is crossover projects. Have you guys heard Jamaica country music? I heard of Jamaica country music, country and western and reggae.
Wow. Wow.
I haven't heard her. I need to.
Crossover projects, soca and compa, soca and compa.
Yes.
Yes.
As for that reggae style,
Yes.
I think we came across maybe about 30 different styles of reggae.
While
Reggae
we were
compa,
studying.
reggae, yes, reggae roots,
Yep.
reggae this, reggae that.
Dancehall.
So yes.
Mhm.
So according to Simone, we can do some cross.
Crossover.
So you have gospel
Crossover.
calypso.
Yes.
Gospel calypso.
Simone just recently,
Yes.
Mystery and JD actually released a Kada Slipso, but Mystery's one was Kada's Compa.
Mhm.
When I listened to it, it's so beautiful. It's called Musicien. So beautiful. Miss, you haven't heard it?
Mhm.
I need to send it to you. So I was listening to it. Really beautiful Mystery. Well done. You know, I love
Yeah,
you,
and she
girl.
has a
And those who don't know Mystery, you know,
beautiful voice.
Coco for
Coco for
sale.
sale.
Coco for sale. We know that.
Who
Some
buying
people,
it?
some people actually thought Lady Esse was singing that calypso. I said, no.
And speaking
Mystery singing that calypso.
and speaking of mystery, that is one of the songs that could have international appeal because that applies.
Exactly.
And you know who else does a good job of singing songs that have appeal beyond Dominica? Tasha P. Treadmill. Treadmill
Yes.
is a song that can apply anywhere because so many
Oh.
people around the world
Everybody.
feel. And her other song, Let Children Be Children.
Definitely.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? So we already have
We
some
have
of the
it.
elements, but we need more of that so we can take our music. And I'm not saying don't sing the political songs. Yes, sing the political songs, but in addition to the political songs, let us sing with an international market in mind
I agree.
so that we're not limited to just going to New York for Labor Day, right? To
Right.
sing for the Dominicans in New York. But now we can go sing for a St. Vincent Jam, a Grenada Jam, a Trinidad Jam,
Yes.
anywhere in
And
the
Super
world.
L says that all the time.
All the time,
Levi
and I
Loblack
agree with
says that
him.
all the time.
Yes.
And
And I
agree.
want to say that Levi Loblack, I really, really want to highlight him here because
Yes.
Ophelia Marie was the one who got me started in Kadas in 2014. She encouraged me to go to sing Kadas, and that is how I started singing Kadas Slipso.
Mhm.
But Levi Loblack, he was the one who produced my Calypso this year, by the way, through Illuminati.
Wait, we have I'm sorry, hold that thought, Lady S. We have a call. Sorry about that.
Good evening, caller. Please go ahead with your call.
Yes, good night, Lambi. Good night,
Good night.
Good night.
Timo Matthew, and
Good
Lady
night.
S and the next lady. I want to congratulate the show. They are very dedication. I believe for our musicians to hit the international stage, we yourselves have to push them. For instance, look at we have the World Creole Festival.
Mhm.
And for so long, we have here Mr. Norman later have been asking for a space on the World Creole Festival. The World Creole Festival didn't start by NDFO, Discover Dominica, and it was started by Mr. Sheridan Gregoire and a few people like Waddy Gordon. So that way you have to push your artists. Even the Calypso Association, I think, supposed to organize something like what Waddick's doing there. Sometime of the year, like their own festival, you get the two mass camp and thing and put themselves together. And even the Carifuna people, I remember they had a little band, I can't remember the name of the band. They used to play kind of broken salsa kind of music. It wasn't the kind of jing thing. So even the Carifuna people supposed to have a band on our International World Creole Festival because they are our first people.
Yes.
And all those little things always saying there, look at the teachers, they push this Calypsonian there who in the crowd, they teach you.
Did we lose him?
Please, yeah.
Yes, but those are some fantastic points that our caller is making, especially the World Creole Music Festival. I mean, look, if we're bringing in all these Jamaican artists, it is clearly not restricted to Creole music. So why can't we have our Carifuna performers doing their music, our Calypsonians doing their music, because it is not limited to Creole music. So we might as well use the opportunity to push our Calypsonians. And why, for example, don't we have a Calypso Summerfest? Right? Just in the middle of the summer, we have a Calypso Summerfest instead of waiting until the end of the year to warm up for February of next year. And it's not about bashing the Calypso Association. I just feel like there's so much more. We have such good quality music, right? But it just always feels like it is put on a shelf at the end of the carnival season. And I just think it should be generating income and revenue streams for the Calypsonians on a year-round basis. So that is kind of what I'm leaning towards.
And I'm not the only one writing for Calypsonians out there, you know. I think Ian writes for Calypsonians out there.
And Pat Aaron does too. He writes for other people in the Caribbean. I know that for a fact.
And I've seen a lot of Calypsos during their shows in Montserrat and Antigua and other places like Barbados. And so they don't tell you that they're singing Calypso, but they have their entertainment passion also, like ours, but they go international. So we should be taking out our youth to participate with the youth in probably Montserrat or St. Lucia, wherever that they have their Calypso shows. We should be able to take our queen or monarchs first and second runner-ups and get them on the stage, on an international stage also. And let people hear the music, hear their music. And we have good quality music. We have good quality melody. And if Cape can tell you that Caribbean Advanced Proficiency can tell you that we came out first in the Caribbean, and I'm sure other Caribbean islands, they will be taken or grabbed before ours. Fernando came out first for composition. And they had to compose their own Caribbean music with a merging of genres also, because it couldn't just choose one genre. We had to show the connection, the roots from our African roots, you know. Merging. And they had to arrange. They also had to perform their song, whether they...
Yes, let's take a quick call. Hold that thought, please.
Good evening, caller again. Please go ahead.
Blessings on everybody else. Blessings.
Blessings to you.
It's nice to hear blessings.
Blessings. Blessings.
Yeah, blessings. It's just that it hurts. It hurts.
Yes.
Every time I listen to the false, concerns from a lot of people, not everybody, about the Kalinago people, it tears my heart apart. My heart bleeds. And the level of disrespect based on our history as African people and our history, our experiences, the brutality, to see how much the Kalinago people are being used every time. Election or something, Chavez give them how much millions, who still eat, and all kind of things happening to the Kalinago people. I think it's under UWP alone, the Kalinago people had a little thing that extended the territory, and But what is happening for the Kalinago people? I want to congratulate the Empress. Why is that a Calypso you just break out there?
Yes. That was some 2020 blessings. Kalinago Nation.
All right. So I love the progress and the development in a genuine sense of the Kalinago people. But when some people come and running up the mouth about Kalinago people, to their own convenience, more has to be done. Better can be done. Blessings to the Kalinago people. Blessings, people. Take care.
Yes, blessings to you. Blessings. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. And you're absolutely right, because I think what we're seeing is that they are pawns in a chess game. That many times, we hear about them and we see them on display when elections is around, and they're bragging about everything that's been done for the Kalinago territory, and then for the rest of the time after the elections, everything is back to what it was before, and their lack of funding for their projects. There's funding available, but no one can access the funding. So it's just a lot of different layers that we see in terms of what is impacting the Kalinago territory. So again, thank you so much for your contribution. Huguette, let me come back to you. We're finishing a point.
I forgot.
I think.
Oh yes, you were just talking about how
kind of rounded up. Yeah.
Simone,
I want to say that the point you made about having a summer fest, a Calypso summer fest.
During
and
the
that's the reason.
The Calypso
that you're right. Really, the whole idea of Calypso Day week of activities is a new one. So that's our second year, really, So we are improving every year. We have an educational aspect. We want to keep the educational aspect, but we are thinking of having what you said, a summer fest. But again, these things can only take place with finance. You need the finance to put these things on. You have other countries right here in the Caribbean where their governments are putting money into the artist. Now it's very ironic that Blessings spoke about the funding and they can't access the funding. I know that funding was put in place for artists as well in Dominica, but they can't really access the funding just as well. No. Just as well. So I really think that we need to do more. Need to do more. For us to continue our culture, we have to invest in our culture.
Yeah, and as we're having this conversation, I have to say congratulations to the Calypso Association as well, because for 40 years they've kept the genre going, and they've given us high quality productions in terms of the music, and to the best of their ability, the shows. To the best of their abilities, I said the shows, because we all know, like you said, everything takes financing, and it begs the question, because now that we're seeing everything that is going on with the CBI, that ultimately it may go away, why haven't we invested in our cultural industry? Right? We've seen places like Barbados, when Square One first came out, they invested in Square One and they sent them to the world. Why did they do that? Because they knew ultimately, no, it wasn't Square One, it was Crossfire. I stand corrected. Because they knew ultimately that revenue would come back to the island.
Exactly.
That revenue would come back to the island in terms of crop over. Because everybody wants to follow Crossfire wherever they go. So that is huge publicity for Barbados. So now that we're seeing everything that's going on with the CBI program, with the restrictions from the UK, it begs the question, why hasn't more been done to invest in agriculture, to invest in agro-processing, to invest in our cultural industry, our music, our fashion, our cuisine, right? Why wasn't more done to invest in this industry? So now, I mean, how are we going to generate revenue when the CBI program is gone? From charging the credit unions fees, from increasing the fee for a birth certificate and a marriage certificate from $5 to $20? Will that be able to supplement the amount of billions of dollars we have generated with the CBI program over the last, how many years? So I think it just begs many questions. And is now the time to start being more serious and invest in our cultural industry?
Invest in our people.
Invest in our
invest
people.
in our people, because these are the same people who are allowing the money to circle in the economy.
Right.
Now, when you have the Creole Festival and you have a number of foreign artists coming to sing, you pay them money. Yes, they're accommodated in the country, so those with hotels and so can get some revenue from that. But they take their money, they go back to their country, and you have Dominican artists who are not on the festival, who will not be paid the amount of money that you pay these other people. You don't allow Calypso on the festival. The Calypsonians should be on the festival. They are Dominicans who will spend money in Dominica. So allow them to be on the main stage so that when you pay them, the money will circle right back in the country.
Huguette, you have anything to add?
Well, I think Shirley has said it all. But however, I am thinking of getting the children out.
Yes.
The children that have their heart in the music, the music. And just like you said that Mighty Sparrow used that genre and went to the various Caribbean islands, saw what they had, and created a song for each Caribbean island to love. Because I love not Jean and Dinah.
The one about the Obia.
Well, my favorite.
That one.
Wait, listen, guys.
Listen,
guys. My favorite is Sasaye.
Exactly.
You know,
and that is for Martinique. That is for Martinique.
Yes, he crafted the calypso in the language. Yes.
Brilliant.
The big bottom one. What's
yes? I forgot. Somebody tell us.
Dominica.
It's for Dominica.
I had it in my head. Yes.
Absolutely.
But still, I go married. So
I said, this one.
Yes, that one.
Oh,
that's right.
You're making
and we love that one because we knew
right
that the chick was from Dominica.
Yeah.
And in teaching the craft of calypso at school, what I used to do is use the simple calypsos, especially those from Mighty Sparrow.
Yes.
Mighty Sparrow, because it was easy to recognize the masking in the calypsos, the simple way he used Jean and Dinah and whatnot, and to tell them that there is a mask in there. Can you identify that mask? And then when I told them the story behind Jean and Dinah, I tell you, the whole class used to fall flat on their face.
And not even to get started with lying excuse.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, I had a fun time.
Yes. But I want to thank you, ladies. I want to thank you for being here. Yes. Congratulations on the project. I hope you will keep us posted so that we can have it played on the radio. So, we can keep going in terms of getting our music to international waters. Let's see what people are saying on Facebook. David Joseph, in Dominica, we have several songs, calypsos, that can have international appeal. Black and comely singing Sandy.
Yeah.
Let's see, Save My Brothers for Me. Oh, absolutely.
That's
These
yeah.
are the
That's,
days, minding my damn business, dice, and a slew of others. It all boils down to marketing, promotion,
Right.
as well as sustained airplay locally. We do not give our music enough exposure, no doubt about that. Sean George, nice to see you. Big up,
oh,
Lady S,
that's my
one time.
student. And that's Miss Sentinel student too. Yeah, for
Yes,
music.
Sean,
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 yes.
he's visually impaired.
impaired.
And he
Okay.
loves
And he loves
calypso.
his music.
He knows all the
Excellent.
history of calypso.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Jennifer Coffey, good night. Dominican in the house. Welcome, Martha, Harriet. My aunt, you get looking lovely as usual. Hello, auntie. Good job. Let's see, Augustine Stilva. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Hello, everyone. And then David Joseph. Melda Oi is for Dominica. So he's reminding us
You are right.
is for Dominica. So I want to thank you for being here as we wind down the program. If you have any final thoughts you would like to share with us about this international collaboration project that you have been a part of. And of course, we hope that the opportunities will keep coming your way internationally and locally. So again, thank you for being here, and just share any final thoughts you would like to share with us this evening.
Well, I would like to say thank you to everyone, especially the fans who have kept me going over the years. You have encouraged me to keep coming back to sing calypso, to sing calypso. I want to say thank you to all my mentors, Miss Hilaire, sitting right next to me, and of course Levi Loblack. Thank you so much, Ophelia Marie, and all the people who have done what they have done for me in one way or another to keep me up there, singing, bringing message to the people, love, education. Thank you so much. Of course, I want to big up the Dominica Calypso Association and encourage the Calypsonians to keep on doing what you're doing. Let's step up, move to the level of international appeal so that we can bring Calypso from Dominica to the world.
Yes, thank you for that. And before you give your final thoughts, Huguette, my mom would like you to know, she said, you said it right, Mrs. Centilla hasn't aged one bit. Was surprised when I saw her tonight. She still looks so young.
Yes.
It's from working with young people, I told you. Yes, so your final thoughts.
Yes, working with young people. And I think that somebody told me today, you haven't aged. I think that music has got.
Yes.
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 So I want to, let's say, you using the local palace, big up my sisters and brothers who have kept me going through the years. I like telling me how proud they are of me, and keep up the good works and so on. I would like to also reach out to my nenen. I hope she's listening. I know she's 95 and going, but she is so proud of her daughter that she raised. It's not funny. It's not funny. And so I just want to tell her there's a lot of love in my music coming out for her, because she has always urged me on. To all my students, especially those who felt it good enough to even honor me and give me a plaque for all the work that I have done for them, and knowing that they enjoyed their school life, you cannot give me more joy than that. And to the listening audience, my family, the rest of the world listening, I say thank you very much, and I will keep up the youngness. So,
Yes, so thank
as
you.
long as I'm in the music, I think I have it going.
Yeah, so thank you, thank you, Lady S. Thank you, Mrs. Huguette Sensilaire Lamby. Thank you for taking the calls. Showing and DJ Shan in the background, our audience listening to us from around the world, Dominica and elsewhere, as well as our Facebook and YouTube viewers. We want to thank you for being here with us for another episode of Roots Connections on Q. I am Simone Mathieu, and this evening we talked about gospel calypso, new opportunities for international collaboration, and we talked about how can we generate revenue for calypso during the year, and how can we take our music to give it international appeal so we can generate even more revenue, because we're seeing the CBI going bye-bye, so we have to start thinking about other ways to sustain Dominica, right? That is the reality that we're facing right now. So again, we want to thank you for joining us for our #1 program, for showcasing the people, the projects, the initiatives that are geared towards advancing Dominica, especially as it relates to generating economic opportunities for our brothers and sisters at home and abroad. We will continue to recognize that change is the only constant in the world. So how do we embrace change? How do we use technology the way that we're doing this evening, the way that Huguette and Lady Esse were able to use technology for this very important collaboration? And how can Dominica benefit from all the changes? We stand in solidarity with everyone who's on the front line fighting all the different battles that Dominica is facing. But here on Roots Connections, our focus again is on showcasing everyone who's turning their passion for Dominica into action for Dominica. So again, as Miss Huguette did, if you want to reach out to me and say, hey, this is a project that I'm working on that will benefit Dominica in some very important way, you can email me at pushpast10.com, pushpast10.com. Again, pushpast10, pushpast10.com, so you can share with us the important ways that you're helping to advance Dominica. So we have a lot of great programming coming up for you. So you want to make sure you join us. Our next episode will be on August 9th. So mark your calendar. And Mr. Adrian Banis, who I know is listening this evening, good evening to you, sir. We are looking forward to have you on board as you tell us about model farming. You tell us about ecotourism. You're telling us about experiential tourism, because that is what people are looking for. So we are looking forward to having you on the program. Thank you for reaching out to me to let me know that you too are working to advance Dominica. So again, you can check out pushpast10.com if you're interested in seeing all the ways we are building the collaboration, the human capacity to advance Dominica. And at the last program, I talked about that trip to Cuba. What an experience. So if you want to see the video footage of what we experienced in Cuba, it is now playing on Push Past 10. So again, our radio, Facebook, YouTube audience, thank you everyone for being here. And of course, a special thank you to our guests for being here. We look forward to seeing big things come from you. So with that, we say good evening, thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. You can say bye.
Take care. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
The mixed people then of this land, defected and claimed to be Negro, even today. So the story go, NBD has indigenous wrong.